Radahn as the final boss in the DLC is pretty insane, especially since he melts your GPU with certain spells and abilities. Blasting him down to phase 2 in just a few seconds, to blocking all of his attacks and taking no damage. And from what I found, for me anyway, the easiest way to beat him was with one of the new dueling shields. If you're holding it with only one hand, you can only do one kind of attack, but when you're holding it two-handed, you can block and attack at the same time. It's spammable as long as you got the stamina for it, making it incredibly overpowered and pretty damn noob. Radahn is vulnerable to frost and bleeding, but I found the hemorrhage to do more damage, and the blood tax Ash of War is pretty great for closing the distance. For talismans, you should definitely run the golden braid for the holy damage negation, which is found in an area behind Shadowkeep, and it's within a tree behind the mini Erdtree. With all these spells that he casts, the Pearldrake Talisman +3 is another good one, which is found in Shadowkeep. The Dragon Crest and the two-headed turtle for stamina regen recovery. That one's found behind a waterfall, and I'll post a link below where you can find that. And just throwing on the best armor that you have for slashing and holy damage. Even though I had 6 Lorval tiers, I still don't want to respec, because I kept coming so close to taking him out. But as soon as I respec'd, I ended up taking him out. Prior, I just wasn't doing enough damage, and I also wanted to replace the Great Jar for the two-headed turtle. That way I could keep a medium load and still have a high defense. You also want to take out the tree avatar for Miquella's Great Ruin. That prevents you from dying if he grabs you on the second stage. I have a video on how to get there as well, which I'll post below. After he grabs you, if you don't use the rune, it'll kill you in about 1 or 2 minutes. I also didn't have any points into Arcane, so I put 60 points into Endurance. If you're using Sorcery, you could use Commodore to bring him into the second phase in just a few seconds. Ice Craig and Night Shard would probably be your best bet to take him out after that, but it would be a pretty hard fight, and I didn't get that far with that strategy. You should do all your buffs prior to entering the portal, and Radahn won't always charge you instantly. Sometimes he feels sorry for you after smacking you down 100 times, and he'll give you enough time to summon plus use a flask. More often than not though, he just insta-charges you, which is pretty easy to avoid with just a forward dodge. The meteors are easily avoided by just running to the left or right. A lot of his physical attacks are pretty telegraphed, like this 6-swipe move that he does. Those are the perfect times to just go in there and shield poke him though. You want to just keep an eye on your stamina and just get a few pokes in and then get out. When he gets into the second phase, you want to charge him and try to stagger him. Sometimes you can do it while he's floating up and totally avoid that first spell. So when he does that spell, my frames go down to 25 frames per second, and I drop my resolution to 1440p and I still get 25 frames per second on a 4080. Hopefully they patch that because it definitely makes the fight a lot harder. I'm not going to break down all of his moves because even if I did, the timing is something that you just have to learn by playing him. But that's the beautiful thing about this build is you don't have to learn all of his moves, maybe just about 50% of them. I mean, you could watch someone that probably spent all day playing this boss and dodge every single move, but in reality, you wouldn't be able to do that until you sunk in at least a few hours into him. The best way to learn a boss's moves too is just to not attack and try to dodge everything. Or you could just be like me, frustrated after a few hours late at night and just shield poke him to death. You definitely want to be careful when you get him down to about 25% health. He'll come down as a comet that can one-shot you if you take a direct hit from it. After getting hit with a few of those, I started to look up, and you can easily spot him coming in if you just pan your camera around at the sky. I might upload the full fight, even though it'd be pretty damn embarrassing. But just to show you that anyone can beat him with this, even if you take just about every single hit. As always, thanks for watching, take it easy, and I'll catch you on the next one.
A pleasure to see you. Those remains Lord Moog will have it.
Year voyage guided by compassion.